Real Madrid in the middle of a transfer triangle. AC Milan planned for the new Pirlo. Neuer could be Premier League bound. Serie A plan a return and a transfer roundup all coming up in the next few minutes as I'm your host, Matt Frodick. You are the Onefootballers and this is the Daily News. So first off, in Real Madrid and a little bit Manchester United as well, as you all know, are in the middle of a whole load of transfer rumours, and three of them involve quite a complicated midfield triangle. That involves Paul Pogba, Eduardo Camavinga and Donny van de Beek. Now, obviously, at the moment, there are a few rumours that there isn't going to be so much money available for transfers in the summer, so Real Madrid are going to have to pick their battles. Apparently, Zidane wants Paul Pogba at the club. He's wanted him since last summer. He didn't get him, and that caused a bit of friction between him and Florentino Perez. Pogba would be available for apparently around 90 to 100 million pounds. Now, this won't necessarily be all of Real Madrid's budget, but it will be a massive chunk of it, especially if you consider to sign Camavinga, the wonder kid at 17 years old, may cost around 50 million. Certainly that's what Renner quoting. And on the other hand, Donny van de Beek apparently has already signed a pre-contract agreement to move to the Bernabeu for, again, around 50 million pounds. So they can sign both of them, maybe one of them, or Paul Pogba. And the reason that this all gets more complicated is because what does that mean at Manchester United? If United were to be able to hold on to Paul Pogba, Real Madrid would then probably go ahead with Van de Beek and with Camavinga as their targets. If they were to then let Pogba go to Real Madrid, well, it would be difficult to tempt the youngsters to Real Madrid with the fact they wouldn't get much playing time. It would also then mean that Manchester United would have funds from the Pogba deal to then go and buy Camavinga or Van de Beek or whoever else. Things are getting really, really complicated, but what we do know is that United and Real Madrid are just linked with absolutely everybody. Not a day goes by or a transfer rumour doesn't involve those two clubs, and at the end of the day, they're probably not even going to spend anything. Fancy that. Now, whilst that might not be necessarily true, there may be a little bit of truth linking Sandro Tonali from Brescia to AC Milan. Now, apparently the Italian giants are planning to offload Lucas Paqueta and then bring Tonali in while sending Alessandro Plazara the other way to Brescia. Now, there's quite a few different parts of this deal to unpack. First off, can they get rid of Lucas Paqueta and can they get a good amount of money for him? So they bought him in last January and he had a pretty good end to the season last year. But this year, things really haven't gone too well. He's got no goals, he's got one assist and he's completed the full 90 minutes just once this season for AC Milan. Surely it looks like he's got great ability and he's a pretty good dribbler, but when it comes to consistently being a top player, like many thought he would when he joined, he doesn't quite seem up to it. So this is the hard part. They've basically got to convince other clubs that he is worth a lot of money, but not so much so that they're like, why aren't you holding on to him instead? He's 22 years old, and if he's that good, surely AC wouldn't want to let him go. So they're trying to convince another club to buy him, but if they don't get such a crazy amount of money for him, it may not matter. That's because the amount quoted for Sandro Tonali is around 30 to 40 million euros, but Brescia are 10 points adrift at the bottom of the league in Serie A, and when the league eventually comes back into play, it's highly unlikely they're going to be able to escape relegation. That puts them back in Serie B and maybe with some financial troubles as well. In fact, definitely with some financial troubles. So they'll probably be accepting less than the 30 to 40 million for Tonali, and on top of all this, they'll have to convince Alessandro Plazara to drop down into Serie B. I say that, he's been on loan at a few clubs in Italian Second Division, and at 20 years old, the goalkeeper is highly unlikely to replace Gigi Donnarumma at AC Milan. He could probably sit behind him for Donnarumma's whole career if the Italian keeper stays at AC. So for Plazara to move down, it's probably a good deal. As for whether Tonali is worth it, for any of you who have played any FIFA foot manager, you know exactly what he's about. And if you don't believe in computer games, you only have to watch him play. His brilliant passing ability, his fantastic control of the ball, and his long flowing hair really does draw more than a few comparisons to Andrea Pirlo. Obviously, it's quite difficult to reach Pirlo's level, but if anyone's going to do it, Tonali's definitely got the ability and what looks like the potential as well. But moving on though from someone at the beginning of his career to someone at the end who's not quite happy with the latest contract that's been offered, and that is Manuel Neuer. Latest reports are saying that he is still in touch with Manchester City boss Pep Guardiola. Of course, Guardiola was at Bayern Munich for 3 seasons and did have Manuel Neuer under his watch, and it seems that he's pretty pleased with the German goalkeeper, even though he, of course, still has Ederson in goal for Manchester City. Now, the whole problem is coming from Bayern Munich's contract offer. Apparently, they've given Neuer another 3 years till 2023 and a pretty sizable wage on top of that. That's not enough for Germany's number one, though. He wants a deal until 2025 on 20 million euros a season. Now, don't get me wrong, he's been brilliant for Bayern. They all love him. He loves the club. But surely, It's not worth giving in to him just for a bit of loyalty. I mean, that's obscene, especially as Alexander Noble's coming in, probably sit behind Neuer for one season, and then go on to be Bayern Munich's #1. I can't see Bayern going for that, and it looks like, along with Manchester City, Chelsea are also interested in the German keeper. Now, we mentioned this a few weeks ago, the fact that there's all sorts of problems with Kepa, where the Caballero isn't really fit to deputise for absolutely anybody, so if Chelsea can shift the Spaniard Kepa out, they'll definitely be looking for a new #1. And next up, a quick update on the return to action in Serie A, where Italian FA President Gabriele Gravina has said that they're hoping to do coronavirus testing at the beginning of May so that they can then return to training and hopefully return to action by the end of May. This will obviously be a very, very quick return to football, especially considering Italy are one of the worst hit countries in Europe for the current situation. Of course, this has been met with some opposition, as the Health Institute in Italy has said that there won't be any public gatherings or any games with thousands of fans until March 2021. A full year after the country went into lockdown. So seeing them back in football, even if they are playing behind closed doors in May 2020, seems a little bit unlikely, but who really knows with Italian football. So last but not least, a quick roundup of the rest of the day's transfer news, where PSG are interested in Ajax's Cameroonian goalkeeper Andre Onana. Bernardo Silva has said that he would love to return to Benfica one day in his career and play for his hometown club. Borussia Dortmund have made a €40 million offer for Valencia's Ferran Torres, and despite interest from Napoli and Arsenal, Real Madrid are planning to hold on to Luka Jovic for one more year at least. So there you have it. There is all of today's daily news. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below, and whilst you're at it, smash the like button and click here or here to check out all of the other videos we've got going on OneFootball. But until next time, stay safe, wash your hands, and I'll see you guys later.